Alrighty, let's get started here. So, let's see, Jack, thanks for the end of the day recap videos. Very helpful for people like me who cannot be on the screen for closing of the market. Thank you, Jack. I do appreciate that very, very much. I apologize that last night's was a little late, but it got there. I apologize. Okay, but again, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Last night, I talked about a few charts. I'm not going to talk about those today. We'll look at something else. Those charts are, for your watch list. And, everything I'm looking at, I'm looking for a 20% move. Doesn't mean that every chart's going to do it. All right, we all know that. Absolutely know that. But they are charts that have good potential. Now, it's up to each individual to find where you're going to buy it, and that's what we're in the trading room for, to help with that. So I don't mean to say, okay, you go find where to buy it. See you later. That's not what I'm saying. Come on in the trading room. When you're here, we can talk about it. So, Jack, if you can only be here for a little bit of time versus all day or something, jump out and say, hey, can we talk about this, that, or the other thing? Man, I'd be delighted to do that, okay? So, anyway, I have flagged some charts here, and there's a bunch more that just keep popping up that I'm kind of liking. So we'll just kind of bounce around here a little bit for the morning, or for the next 10 minutes or so. Let's take a look. USO, this thing just popped up again. Look at USO. So energy, we should really take a look at some energy. USO is rocking. What a very nice J-hook continuation pattern. Nice cup in there, so that's looking good. So there should be some energy come up. Here's SWN. All right, let's talk about SWN here. So here's SWN. What do you do with it? Well, number one, stop looking for an entry and just put a line somewhere where you think it's going to go. Now, there's some logic to some of that sometimes. Sometimes there's not. So I just threw that line up there anywhere. Now let's go to a weekly chart. And I think if everybody does this first, find the target first. So I'm pretty happy where I put it there. I'm pretty real happy. I mean, if you want to put it up here to this top, you can certainly do that. And let's go ahead and do that, now that I kind of look at it. That's the first thing to do. Number two, now go in here and take a look at the chart and realize that you've potentially have 21, 22% in there. Potentially. That takes the pressure. It should take the pressure off of, oh man, I have to hurry up and get in. No, you don't. So here we're breaking out, right? One of our favorite flagship chart patterns is the 3-8 trap. The 3-8 trap is basically when price is close to the T-line, below the 3 EMA. Here, okay, maybe this morning's going to turn out a little different than what, there we go. So, you see there, we're above the 3. So, while that's a beautiful chart, it's really a non-tradable chart right now if you are a 3-8 trap trader. So, what you're going to have to do is get your drawing tools up here, like that. There you go. Get your drawing tools, and now wait for the next pullback. And to think that somewhere in that 20%, it's not going to pull back, you're smoking dope, man. I'm serious. You're drunk as a skunk, because you all know it's going to pull back. It may be up here when it pulls back. I like that idea. Find the target first. And if this is your target, okay, there's your target. Find that target first. And then start looking at the chart. All right, we're going to talk more about that. Let's take a look at Meta here. I think Meta is still setting up very much. Up to this top, you've got about 8-9%. Now, you guys all know if you're buying the stock, that's what it is, 8-9%. On the other hand, if you're buying the option, that's going to turn into 25-30% a heartbeat. I mean, all the way up there, boom, that's going to be a banger right there. We just need to show proof that we can close pretty much over that 50-period moving average. I think you've got a nice little bottom here. And for you rookies here, yeah, that's a double bottom. Rookies want to put it right down to the penny. Newbies, new traders, they want to be an engineer. If you were here yesterday, you know what that means. Yeah, that's a double bottom. Low, high, higher, low. Boom, we're moving up. Great looking chart. Now you just plan that entry. And by the way, I do see this as an entry right in here right now. What else do we have here? Let's see if anything has popped up. What's Spot doing? So take Spot for an example. Spot's too high. But do we see, target-wise, do we see Spot filling that gap? Do you see Spot maybe moving up here to 171? Well, if you can see that, if you can say, yeah, you know what, this has that potential, and I think it does. So now what we do is we wait for that pullback. Wait for that pullback. This is where things like the trading room, the scanner, this is where these things come alive, because in the trading room we can catch this stuff. I catch all mine using the scanner. So just simply wait for that pullback, and then boom, here you are. And if you want to know exactly what I mean, there it is right here. See how we've rallied up? And here, this black candle, that black candle, and that green candle right there are all 3/8 trap setups. And poof, there we go, right there. I need to make a note. Ask Ed something. Okay, thanks. So Spot, I think Spot is looking pretty good. Let's flag that one. Let's take a look over here. How about this GTLB? GTLB looks like it's about to attack that 50-period moving average. Well, it is attacking it. Challenging it would be a good word. Look how it gapped up, and for the most part, it just went sideways. It just, big money came into it, boom, and now it's just resting. It's drifted below the 50-period moving average. It drifted all the way to the 200-period moving average. We now have this really nice little bottom. And you know what a bottom is it's like a bowl more than a bottom. It's more like a bowl to me. So you've got the left side of the bowl, you've got the bottom of the bowl, and then you've got the right side of the bowl. You know, some people call that a fry pan bottom, just a bottom. Either way, this is what it looks like right there, okay? So that's starting to come up. That in itself is a nice bullish chart pattern. Here's a bullish piercing pattern that kicked it off. We're challenging that 50-period moving average right now. So as a trader, remember, let's pick our target. I think it's doable to get back up to this top here. So what are we talking about? 15 or so percent. So now you can negotiate your entry based on your entry rules, say in that area right there. A little bit up if you want, up and rest right now, something like that. Few people in the room mentioned that it's got earnings coming up, so keep that in mind. Thank you. Let's take a look at Netflix. Look how Netflix, very similar chart. We're up, challenging that 50-period moving average, and then all of a sudden, whammo, we're over that 50-period moving average. Let me get rid of that blue line. There we go. So now we've got this low, high, higher low, higher high maybe, but moving sideways, nice little pop out of the box. So for the trader that's looking at this and saying, well, I kind of see a head and shoulder. Well, then don't trade it if you don't want. Doctor, my arm hurts when I raise it over my head. The best doctor in the world is the one who looks you straight in the eye and say, well, stop raising it over your head. It's really simple. You know, if you don't dig that because of that head and shoulder possible, actually, let's watch our wording, okay? Let's watch our wording. Shoulder, head, shoulder coming up, retesting that shoulder. That is, in fact, a head and shoulder. But a head and shoulder does not mean that it's going to fail. It does not mean that. So just because somebody says head and shoulder, don't pucker up and start sweating like you've just eaten a dozen jalapeno peppers, okay? Watch the chart. And if it makes you feel better to buy the chart over 447, then do that. What's the potential of this chart? Let's take a look at the weekly. Remember, look at that potential. You see that nasty candle down there? That's just like a gap. A candle like that, boom, just like a gap. So we've got some possible fill-in to do up here around 520 bucks. Now that we do it like that, doesn't this chart look different now? Can't you take a better view of it? You know, I see a potential head and shoulders that might fail. I think that I'll wait for my entry to prove over that. I think I'll plan my entry over about that 447, 450 area. And I think what I'll do is look for a trade for about 15%. Wow! Did trading just become simple? Super, huh? Pretty neat. Let's see, Carol is asking, do you set alerts with TC2000 when it reaches your entry target? No, I do not, Carol. I do not use TC2000 for that. I use the scanner to give me charts, and then I enter based on what I see. As an example, here's a scan, bull challenging the 50 period moving average, okay? So when I see something like that, I'm going to look at it, and then, which I'm not, I just opened this up and created this morning, so there's some of the things that are not going to be right on there. Take FNGU. I need to dial it in a little bit. So take FNGU. That is still in the challenging area of the 50 period moving average. So when it comes up on the scanner, what I'm going to do is look at it, and then I will make that decision if it is a buy. TC2000 for me is only charting. I do believe it's the best in the world, but I believe the scanner is the best in the world to tell me about charts, entry setups, what the chart is doing as far as, you know, new high, new low, or even intraday if I want it, okay? So anyway, yeah, this is one I just created this morning because we're getting a lot of charts challenging the 50. I need to make a couple adjustments to it, but it's well on its way. I'll get that done today. All right, what else do we have here? Pins. I believe yesterday somebody was talking about pins. I think this is a chart worthy of the watch list. So target, let's look at target first. There's one target maybe. Target 2, let's just get right up here to the top. And let me remind everybody that targets are, it doesn't mean that they're absolute. So what if price did this here? But what if price just did this? And from right there, it stopped and went down. You know, do we complain? Oh man, somebody had a target at $30.73. They're not worth a darn. They didn't pick the target. Folks, if you ever say that, please take the time, research, find somebody that can actually call a target so close like that. You'll find that trading is an area. It's an area for everybody, okay? When you find that person, you let me know. I'll give them every bit of my money. So I see some potential of $29, $30 up here. Here's a couple of bad things about PIN that I want to point out, though. And this is the worst thing. Right there is the 500 period moving average. So I see PIN. I like PIN. I like what it's done here. I like the buyers it found at the 200 period moving average. I like the recent candles, the way they've been moving up. I like it that it's over the 50 period moving average, but I do not like it because we're facing the 500 period moving average. So that's going to mean that my buy will be above it, will not be below it. I don't want to be below it. The next thing is, that means my target is going to be about 8% away, a little bit like that. So there's my trade plan. Now all I have to do is plan those stops, raise those stops as it moves up. Pretty simple. All right, hey, I'm actually over my time this morning. Sorry this takes so long. I see people do 5-minute videos and they can cover 4 or 5 stocks. I don't know how they do it. I've listened to them. I've tried to copy it. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. I'm just a yacker. Anyway, we'll see you at the bottom of the hour when the market opens up. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it. See you then.